All right. How you doing, Jordan?
Doing good. I got my new ring light, my new microphone. Les asked me if I was starting an OnlyFans.
Oh man, they would bang your door down for that, Jordan. Biscuit, look lively. We're on a show here.
Come on, Bass Quack.
Biscuit's my producer, and she's asleep on the show. It's terrible. Um, so so one of the things that I thought of this morning was that and I'm looking at a different screen, by the way. I can still see you.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, we were going to do Monday through Thursday, but the thing is that we record them the afternoon before, just like Beer Business Daily. So
you might as well do Friday.
Yeah, we might as well do Tuesday to Friday. No.
Yeah, because we won't want to record one over Sunday, I don't think.
No, but we don't want to. Hold on. Why is this so hard?
Tuesday through Friday.
Math was never my great point. So just do Tuesday through Friday.
Right. Unless we record the Friday one for Monday.
But I don't want to work on Friday. See, that's the thing. So why don't we just not publish one on Monday and then just we're talking about recording and publishing. It's kind of like 24-hour pre-sale. We got, we're talking about two different things. So let's talk about publishing the podcast. I'm so glad everybody gets to be in on the strategy that should have been decided, probably 2 weeks ago.
The behind the scenes. Then it'd be Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
We'll record we'll record on Monday. That one's for Tuesday.
Right.
And then we'll record on Thursday. That'll be the end of the week. And that one will be for Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
So we don't have to work on Friday.
Or the weekend. Right.
Or the weekend.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Seems like we're taking 2 days off. I don't understand how that works.
It works.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. So Jordan, do you remember the beer industry back in 2005?
I was in middle school, so
okay.
So no.
So that would have been problematic if you had.
You
were a freshman in high school.
Yes, here in San Antonio.
All right, right on, bro.
Yeah,
me too.
Right on. But I would love to hear about the beer industry in 2005.
Well, because I was thinking about this because we've been talking a lot about spirits equivalency and threats to the beer industry that have been around for a while, and bring that mic a little closer to you, Jordan. And I feel like there's some similarities and some differences, but when we think about the year 2005, that was a seminal year. There's certain years in an indie industry that are really make more of an impact than the normal 365 days would. And 2005 was definitely one of those years. And so what happened in 2005? Well, there's several things. There's a lot of things. One was the Granholm decision, which changed the way that certainly in Washington State, the way beer, wine, and spirits were sold, and led to many, many more lawsuits for a decade more, or at least. We had there was Hurricane Katrina, which really disrupted the industry, particularly in the Southeast. 2005 was really the first year that I knew of that all of the top 3 brewers declined in sales. When we think about that now, Jordan, that's not surprising, right? I mean, right. That's just common. At the time, it was a huge deal. It was, wow, that's never happened before. And the reason was put on spirits. And also, in 2005 was also the year that Smirnoff Ice really started taking off, and other spirit branded alternatives, as we called them back then, were entering the marketplace. So we were basically, it was that era's hard seltzers.
Mm-hmm.
They were on fire, not to the extent that seltzers are now, but they still were a pretty big deal back then. And Diageo and the likes of them were working toward an equivalency play. They were, in 2005, they were lobbying heavily the federal government on the U.S. dietary guidelines to include language that basically said a drink is a drink is a drink, and that all three types of liquor are equivalized. And so, and not only on that front, but they were working heavily on getting Sunday sales of liquor, which they had in the next 10 years very much succeeded in doing. So 2005 was an interesting year. It was also the year that the Atkins diet was huge, a low carb everything. And a wholesaler in the Southeast put up a sign on the side of a bar on a railing, one of those plastic cheap, vinyl signs that they make in the sign houses, mm-hmm. in the garage in the back.
Yeah, with the little gold rings on each corner.
Yeah, gold rings that have the plastic ties that the ties that bind.
Yeah,
those are the ties that bind in every dive bar that has a patio, and it's always flapping in the wind. Well, anyway, there's a sign that one distributor made that just said, Miller Lite has half the carbs of Bud Light. Somebody sent it to Norman Adam, and he said this should be an ad. And so he rushed it into a 15-second ad right before the Super Bowl and put it up everywhere. It was a PowerPoint presentation. It wasn't an ad. My 8-year-old child could have created this ad and probably could have. It probably did.
They just clicked through it.
It was a PowerPoint that basically just had those words. Miller Lite, Miller Lite has a third less calories and half the carbs of Bud Light. That's it. And it just showed showed a little graph, a little comparison, and the two bottles, and that was it. And Miller Lite jumped in share for the first time in like 10 years that year. And what did AB do at the time?
They
panicked. They panicked. And so 2005, we also saw one of the biggest price wars in the industry that we had seen in years. And I'm talking premium beer price war, not the budget stuff. And it knocked several $100 million off of AB's market cap because of the loss of margins. It was a very heavy price war. It was also, I think, in result of how spirits were taking share. So 2005, we also got blessed with AB going, thinking that it had to get into the spirits business in a big way. So that's another similarity with now, because I remember August Bush IV spoke at our conference that year in Phoenix, and he said from the stage that, we're going to get heavily into spirits, mainly because spirits are so much more profitable. He was like, he looked at me from the stage. He was like, do you know how cheap it is to make vodka? And I was like, no, I don't. I've never made it. But, he was just like, it's so cheap to make. And, you don't have to store it cold, and you don't have to, it doesn't have a shelf life. He goes, it's fantastic. And so that we were blessed that year with Jekyll and Hyde, which was the concept. So Jekyll and Hyde was an AB's first foray into spirits, and it was really two bottles that were kind of glued together, and one was Jekyll and one was Hyde, and you were supposed to mix them. And when you mixed them, it made a beverage that moderately tasted like Jägermeister. Yeah. So first of all, it tasted horrible. It was just horrible. And then second of all, you had to do a lot of work.
Yeah,
to get the drink. Who knows? It could have taken off, but it didn't. And but what it did do is that it forced a lot of AB wholesalers to get liquor licenses. And so,
Open the
and
door.
now they've maintained those licenses, and now they're glad they're dead, right? Because now a lot of them are in the, if not the liquor business, the at least the spirit RTD business. And then Katrina also just blew out a lot of beer, and that it was an interesting dynamic of how the beer industry shifted from different geographies. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But when you think of how much the price war that started in 2005 and continued for a couple of years, how much margin that took away from the top brewers, 2005 really set the stage for InBev to swoop in and buy Anheuser-Busch, because Anheuser-Busch's stock was so cheap at that point that they could come in and afford it. It also diminished the margins of the point for Miller Brewing Company and Coors Brewing Company to the point where even it set the stage for them to merge so that they could improve their margin structure. So really 2005 was the big precursor to 2008 when all of that actually ended up happening. Everything takes 3 years. Everything. You can't, it takes, just going to the bathroom takes 3 years. Everything takes 3 years, Jordan. You want to sell a house? It's going to take 3 years. 2005 was a seminal year. And I feel like that last year, 2020, is a similar type year to 2005. And of course, COVID has a big play in that. But even without COVID, it would have been a seminal year just because of the rise of seltzers and all the consequences that brings.
Okay.
So,
well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If everything takes 3 years and last year was the seminal year, what do you see happening in 2023?
I don't know. I mean, I'm barely alive. What do you want from me, Jordan?
I'm just keeping this conversation going, man.
Why? Am I boring you?
No.
Biscuit.
You
Biscuit.
have all
We've
the
definitely
knowledge.
we definitely put one of our panelists to sleep. Biscuit. Come on now. But yeah, no, we've already talked about a lot of this, but there's definitely the compression of trends and the acceleration of trends that were already happening. And I think, to me, the biggest kind of game changer that's going on right now is the entertainment options that people have at home. And I just think that right now people are eager to get out because they've been trapped at home. But I think after that initial rush, I think people will be returning to their homes and spending more time in their homes long term. And that's going to be the next big battleground for consumer products, is how to get into the home rather than how to get behind the bar or how to get in the cold box. Even that, I mean, I'm talking really long term. I think that's not going to be as important, because you're going to be choosing your whatever comes into your home, you're going to be choosing on a screen. So those types of things that were already kind of happening got accelerated. And yeah.
Well, and you think about how many people over the pandemic did, projects at their house. I'm sure tons of people have their own bars at their house now,
yes.
Or built a bar, and they just want to stock that up, host at their own house with, nice wine they get delivered, nice spirits they get delivered, or just their own kegerator, whatever. But it does seem like, people want to host more within their own four walls than go out to a bar. And people are used to it now,
Yeah. Well, and I talked to wholesalers that they're pretty universal that we have a lot fewer bars. On-premise is probably going to be healthier with fewer. Sorry, God dang it, my cord. With fewer bars, there were too many to begin with.
Yeah, I think,
and they weren't that profitable to deliver to.
I think I was talking to Molson Coors last month, they said about 15 to 20% of the accounts they had are no longer there. So
Yeah,
almost a fifth gone. So
that sounds about right. And boy, if you didn't have an outdoor patio, you were screwed. I mean, even now, because I think people are just so glad to get outside. I know that down on Grace, it's packed just every day on a Monday, at 3:00, it's packed. This is an outdoor place around here. Biscuit loves to get out of the house, right? Biscuit? Yeah, not really. She'd rather just lay on the couch all day. It's a lazy dog.
That's what my dogs are doing right now, too.
Yeah. Well, Chanel Gold Coast sends her regards. She had a birthday party she had to go to.
I was wondering where.
I know. I was like, you got to commit to this every single day, Millis. I will commit. The second day. This is what? Number 2, episode 0102. Do you know how I'm naming it? Try and guess the code. This is episode 0102. What does 01 stand for?
First year.
Bingo. What does 02 stand for?
Second episode.
Oh my God. Hey, yes, super genius.
Season 1, episode 2.
This is why I hired you, Jordan. I saw it in you from the moment I met you.
Yeah.
And brilliant. The reason Jen hadn't been on here is because she happened to be on vacation this week, but she'll be back next week. We'll get her on. She has huge FOMO, by the way. She's, already texted me. I want to be on the podcast. Well, I'll have ideas for the podcast. It's like, go. Can you just enjoy your vacation, please? Just enjoy.
She can't. She's
sending in articles, and I love the dedication. I can't say that I don't love it, but for God's sakes, take a breather.
I know. I want her to enjoy her break.
I do too. She's earned it. Girl works like a horse.
She really does. She works harder than anybody I've ever been around.
Yeah.
She just moves at a different speed. It's crazy.
She does. But Michael Kaiser doesn't think she's qualified to speak for women in the beer industry.
Oh gosh.
Because she's only worked in the industry for 10 years. All right. Well,
I'm just glad I'm not doing this podcast from your icy apartment today. If you go back
64 degrees is a perfectly acceptable.
My gosh. I couldn't do the podcast. I couldn't work afterwards because I was just.
I know you were shivering.
I was.
I keep a sweatshirt here for Millicent whenever she comes over to put on immediately.
Dude, you need it, especially when it's all pretty much concrete in there.
Yeah. And believe me, and it's so, I'm on the first floor and it's so small. My electric bill's like $100 a month. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Even if it's cold, but all right. Well, we're wasting enough time of everybody's. Let's sign off for the, let's see, this will be on Monday. We're going to put this on Monday, but starting next week, we're going to shift to Tuesday
through Friday.
Yeah. I don't comprehend it. All right, Jordan, have a good weekend. And thank you for drinking beer.
You too, Chief.
This broadcast is brought to you by the Distributor Productivity Summit, held online this year on July 19th, 2001, where we will bring some experts together from all over the country and from various expertise to talk about the issues that distributors face right now, including routing, warehouse automation, employee retention, tax planning, and cybersecurity even. So we've got a lot of topics we're going to tackle. Go to beernet.com to get more information or call Jessica at 210-805-8006. Look how excited Biscuit is about it. All right. We'll see you there. Thanks.